Yo, what's it like being able to see me now?
Pretty nice. If you guys didn't know, before I was actually, whoa, excuse me. I was actually just looking at a black screen. I could never see Gabe, and now I can actually see him. So
No, don't lie to them. Don't lie to them.
it
No,
just
I
wasn't
just
good
had.
quality. So same thing.
It was like an iPad 4 that's like completely shattered.
Yeah.
I'll put a picture of it right here, or no, I'll put it right here. And yeah, look how bad it is. And then if you look at the top, there's like glass that like I guess fell in to the iPad. I don't know, but I had that.
That's
It
how the
was
back of
working.
my phone's looking right now. But
Yeah.
yeah, Gabe was fortunate enough to get a new iPad for his birthday.
Yes, sir.
So
Hashtag blessed.
one happy birthday to Gabe. How old are you
Thank you,
turning
thank
again,
you.
bro? Don't get mad at me. Let me guess, 25.
How'd you know? I look
Well,
over
well,
it.
it's funny because my mom asked me the other day, and I was like, I don't know if it's 25 or 26, but I was like, I think it's 25 because I don't think he's just a year younger than me. Because I remember
No, yeah, I'm
like
too.
you were still in high school when like I was in college at some point. But yeah, so nice. That's not bad, man. It's a good place to stay. You know,
Yeah,
you
yeah. I'm
can.
gonna stop right here. My manager's my bro. Okay, so I was like, man, bro, I turned 25. Everyone's like, how is it, dude? The day I woke up on my birthday, I'm like, my hip hurts, my back hurts, my shoulder hurts. I was like, what? I was like, I didn't realize the transformation was this quick. The transition was
not
this fast.
not a good way to start your birthday.
No, right? And then turns out the last week both not both, but like two one manager and then another coworker of mine, they're both like older than me, but they both pulled their backs and like were out for like 5 days because they couldn't move and they were describing what they went through and I was like, oh no, this this is not gonna be fun. And then they kept they kept saying, "Die young, leave a pretty corpse, die as soon as
Oh my
possible, do not get
gosh.
old." And I was like, "Whoa!" But dude, it was just
You're like, I don't know about that.
terrifying.
You're like, I'm
That,
getting a
like,
new body anyway, so.
have you, amen? But you know, like, have you heard people like when they pull their back and they're like stuck at like a pretty much
Oh
an 8-degree
yeah.
angle?
Yeah.
Bro, I didn't realize that until like this week, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm one step
Yeah,
closer."
that's probably the one thing that is like the most scary is like your back because it's just such a central point of like moving and like that's why I mean I really need to get better about it. But like I've been running more recently and I've been trying to like do stretches after that at least because like I haven't been as good about doing my stretches in the morning. So I'm like, okay, at least after my stretch, I can do like a longer and like deeper stretch because I'm like, bro, it's just not. You want to like try to maintain that, elasticity and ability to move and because I think that's the thing, bro. I just think a lot of people don't do that on a regular basis. And so over time, bro, like, that really builds up, especially like if you're not even doing it like on a weekly basis, like once or twice a week, I feel like that will affect you so much. So I'm like, it's definitely something I need to get better at for sure. But I think that's such a key in like maintaining a lot of your, your muscles and your abilities with them is keeping them in, able to stretch.
Yeah, I've been slacking on my stretching too. Um, and this is like my first week back, like trying to be back at the gym consistently, eat better and all that stuff. Because I'm
Yeah.
like, I basically like was started thinking the same thing. I was like, oh man, like I need to get ahead of this or else I'm not gonna last very long because I already have a lot
Well,
of pain.
but that's the thing
And
too. Yeah. Oh, okay, good.
no, sorry, I was just gonna say that. Oh no, I lost the train of thought. Oh, that you were saying how like a lot of people's issues that they just don't stretch at all, and then it
Yeah.
just like tightens up over time. And that's 100% true because when I was better about it, I was doing like those, the same ones you do probably, like the 10-minute beginner yoga classes for like
Yeah.
specific body parts and stuff. So I would sometimes, when I lived with my grandma, I would do it in the living room whenever they were like not watching TV. So whenever I would do it in the living room, though, my grandma would join me because she never stretches like
Right.
ever, just because that's just how it is. And so
A lot of people don't.
Dude, there was one time that she was doing it with me, and it was like a harder pose. Like I'll admit, like for being a beginner, it was kind of intense, but it wasn't intense to like where you couldn't do it. You know what I mean? It just like was very uncomfortable. And bro, she like almost threw up. Like she had to stop because it was just like so hard for her body to like stretch like that. And I was like, whoa. I'm like, dude, you really need to start doing this.
That's scary.
Like stretching's so important. Stretching and hydrating.
Yeah.
I slack hard on the hydrating part, especially because of like serving, bro.
Right. You need to get you a Stanley, bro.
I got an iron flask right here.
Yeah, I know that. With serving though, it's different, especially when I serve, bro, because you can't eat as frequently. Like I would then resort to like drinking diet soda or something just to give my stomach something.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be water. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have the same thing, but I'm trying to be better about it. You know, I had a big breakfast today, high protein.
Yeah. I was gonna say though, because I'm like, you know, because you were like, yeah, like getting back in the gym and like obviously that's great. I think working out and like cardiovascular and all that's great, but like that's still something that like I neglect. Is like I'll go to the gym, I'll work out, I'll do cardio, I'll do the sauna, but then I just won't stretch. You know, because like I've been there like an hour and 30 already. You know what I mean? Like I don't wanna be at the gym for
Who you
2
work out
hours,
with?
you know. So myself.
Bro, get off your phone. There's no need for you to be there for an hour and a half.
I never use my phone at the gym. I'm in fitness mode every time. Okay,
bro,
listen,
we used to work out for 2 hours with 8 people.
That's cap. We're at the gym from 11 to 3 a.m.
Okay,
Listen,
maybe it was more than 2 hours.
It depends on the night, but typically, and I'm a pretty fast like person that I work out, but when you add in 20-minute sauna, when you added 10-minute cardio, that's already 30 minutes right there. So then that leaves you with an hour to do your workout, which like most of the time I can get done in 45 minutes. But the thing is that my gym is packed every time I go. So like a lot of the times it's either me like looking for another machine or like I have to kind of think, okay, all these are taken. Like, what do I have to do now? Kind of like, you know, switching up my workout because I can't get machines there. So, you know, it's like, yeah, I mean, trust me, I love to do, and I sometimes do an hour because sometimes I'll do like whenever my gym will close. If I get off work, sometimes they close earlier on the weekends. I can knock it out. Like I can go in there and like forego a couple things. But anyways, needless to say, yeah, we need to work on our stretching. You probably need to work on your stretching too. Everybody does.
I like only really stretch when I'm at the gym because that's like what I do. Like I'll do like the 10-minute cardio and then I'll stretch and then I'll work out.
Yeah.
And then I do this. I do 10-minute cardio after, or like 5-minute stairs, and then I do the sauna after. And I'm trying to get in the habit of stretching after the sauna too.
True.
Which is I guess like good for you, but I don't do that. Just because I'm so sweaty, like I don't want to go touch the mats. You know what I mean? Like I feel bad. So it's like by the time I'm cooled off, I don't want to stretch anymore. I want to go home.
Also, foam rolling,
bro.
That's key. That's
key.
I
bought a Groupon for like a couples massage. It's really cheap. Like honestly, guys, everyone should go to Groupon and pay for a massage. It's the best. But $100, right, for Delaney and I, and we went, and it was deep tissue with hot rocks or hot stones. And at first, the lady was going, and I'm like, you know, for people that don't know me, I'm a very tense person, so I have a lot of knots. Specifically, this shoulder, it's terrible. Anyways, the lady was going, it was okay, dude. I asked her that, like, hey, can you do it like a little deeper? Oh my gosh, I had knots, bro, that I didn't even know I had, in like places like on my lower rib, like in between like my shoulder and hip. I was like, oh, there's like 3 knots right there that I never knew about, like things like that. And what hurt the most out of everything, and it shocked me because I feel like I stretch those that part of my body kind of frequently because I go upstairs a lot, is when she grabbed her forearms and started like essentially foam rolling, but like rolling my down from like my knee to my ankle, so like my whole calf and that whole area.
Oh yeah.
Dude, it
Yeah.
was the pain that I felt like when I was getting a tattoo. Like it was like
Yeah.
that, like the bad type of tattoo. You know what I mean? It like, bro, that was the one that I was like trying not to like move to mess her up.
Yeah.
But my right one hurt significantly. Like I almost like was like tapped out on my right one.
Yeah.
But my left one was like I
Yeah.
could endure it, but it sucked. And I was like, dude, yeah, I need to start foam rolling.
Yeah, man. Cause even like running lately, I can definitely like feel more pain in my calves, especially like on the inner side. And so like, yeah, I've just been trying to foam roll them out. And like, that is the one section where I'm like, because if you think about it, bro, like they're being used all the time. And like, I think like even going up the stairs and stuff, like it's not a good stretch, but also like they do need to be worked out like with a foam roller or in different like pressure areas just to get the blood flowing more. So yeah. We hope you learned something from this. If you didn't,
I didn't, but no, I'm just
if
kidding.
you didn't, stick around for the rest of the episode. Maybe you'll learn something else.
And then
with that,
let's do the.
how about we cue the intro and then we do our review.
Oh my gosh, I'm just ahead of myself. Let's go.
That's like, you remember the projectors back in the day? You did that and we.
Yeah, that would be sick. Let's see if we can do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show's about to start. Introducing Catchin Up Podcast.
Catching Up Podcast. If you're not caught up, you're catching up.
I don't necessarily know what that means. Okay, so we are going to be reviewing something that we brought up in last week's episode, if you watched. Well, last week was the vault, so the episode before that, not the vault, the one before that. And it is the Bubbies.
No, it was
churro.
last week's episode. Because we.
Oh, wait, yeah, because we got one coming out. Yeah, okay, so it is
Today.
last week's episode.
Yeah.
What the heck? What is this?
That's what I see on you all the time.
Why? I don't do this, do I?
I don't either. I didn't either. It
Alright,
does
we're
that and
learning
it does
about
like a heart
iPads.
whenever you do it.
That-
Like, I don't know what it is, but like it'll be a bubble that's
That's
so
so
funny that
funny.
you've never seen it.
No.
Because you
Probably
only
because you
FaceTime me on your
Probably
iPad.
because you didn't have it.
Correct.
Maybe we both have to have it or something. Okay. Anyways, we're gonna be reviewing Bubbies churro mochi because I personally think this is the best mochi I've ever had in my life, and I've had a lot of mochi, and this one is just perfect. It's perfect. Fortunately, my roommate actually just restocked the box, and I'm just gonna use one of his because I didn't have time to go to the grocery store and get one. So shout out to Chris. I appreciate you lending me a mochi for the episode.
I already opened mine just while you were talking so people can see it. But mine's really soft. Are they supposed to be really soft or did mine just melt a little bit?
Probably that, but yeah, they're not as hard as the other mochis.
Okay.
Like they definitely.
Let me see yours.
Hold their. Yeah, it's the same thing.
How
It's
squishy is yours?
Like yeah, I can make a dent in it.
No, mine's like okay, but I'm okay. You ready?
All right, yeah, let's do this thing.
Cheers.
bro.
Wow, that's really good.
Bro. It's perfect.
I can't wait to
Like-
try these again when they're a little more solid because mine's like
Mm.
melting, like sliding out. But
But see,
Wow.
I like it like that.
mine's like, I think yours is harder than mine. Is what I'm saying, by a little bit.
Okay, maybe by like a little bit, but
Anyways,
Yeah,
wow, this
these
is
ones-
delicious.
they maintain a lot. They're typically because the other ones that we get, you know, that brand we always get, My
It's
Mochi
like
or whatever. Like
my mochi.
those will get like real. Like you have to let those defrost. These ones
Yeah, you do.
typically like. I mean, we had them out for a little bit, and I think that's why yours is probably a little bit more melted. But these ones are really like, you know, you can take them out and they're still pretty soft. Like they don't, for some reason, I don't know what it is. They don't freeze as much. But yeah, go ahead. I've tried them, so you go ahead and give your review.
Dude, For it being churro too, because I usually like the fruitier flavors, this is delicious. I feel like the consistency of the dough around it is really good. It's not as thick as my mochi, which is what I usually get.
Right.
And I'm kind of more fond of it. You know, I thought I liked the thicker, but now that I've had a thinner one, I'm like, oh, this is a little bit better. It's a little more palatable. But, bro, the ice cream inside is delicious.
Bro. And the
really
little
good.
cinnamon sugar around it.
Yes, the cinnamon sugar on it. And
perfect.
the shape is better. I feel like it's easier to take a bite out of this because it's a little flatter as opposed to like a ball. And then, because yours was still soft in comparison to mine.
Yeah.
Or in comparison to a normal my mochi that you said that you have to defrost.
Yeah.
So that's even better because sometimes, you know, my wife and I just have to buy it to devour the box right then and there when we get home because it's not going to be that great later.
Well, and also, I mean, I know it's like part of the dough and everything, but I'm like, I like that these have cinnamon sugar instead of powder because then my face doesn't look a mess when I'm eating them.
Amen, brother.
Like with those
Amen.
powder ones, bro. I swear,
Yes.
I'll try to be so careful, and then I'll have like powder everywhere.
You'll have a big
bro.
blotch on your shirt too.
Yeah. And so I'm like, I know it's a part of the dough aspect, but this definitely makes it easier. So yeah, these are a 10 out of 10 for me. Easy. They're delightful. It's the perfect churro flavor. Unfortunately, I don't know where else they sell these besides Sprouts. So unless you have a local Sprouts near you, I can't really give you any recommendations on where to get it. But if you find it, try it.
All it contains is egg and milk for allergies. And each churro is 90 calories, which is not a lot in comparison to ice cream.
Yeah, and
Only 530 calories per container.
that's like half of a Ben and Jerry's. So, you know.
Yeah, 6 grams of protein. So, you know, you're still bulking. You're still doing good.
I can't speak to any of the other flavors because I haven't had them yet. I don't know if this is like their one-hit wonder or not, but this one's crazy good.
I also feel like they have more cool flavors than my
Probably.
mochi.
My mochi, like, I think they have a lot. It's just the stores never carry them. Like, because
Yes.
you sent me the whole seasonal thing, and I've seen those once. But I've been to like a bunch of different Targets or like, you know, Ralph's and whatever. And none of them have it. It's insane. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, I agree. These ones at Sprouts, they literally had like 10 different flavors.
Dang. I'll have to check. I think mine only had like a couple, but I'll have to see. Nick, I got to go pick up another box anyway. So.
Yeah. I'm going to go put these in the freezer.
Yeah, we're going to take a
I'm gonna
break,
go.
put these in the freezer, and then we'll be
This
right
is
back.
when we should have played the intro.
I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Nah, we're just playing. We wouldn't do that to you guys twice. We know that it's kind of a burden already, so.
I got blueberries.
Okay, so before we get into, we also have another review coming up in this episode, which I'm excited about. Before we get to that, I just want to talk about a couple of cool things that happened to me last week that came through the form of prayer. So it was really interesting because I have been trying to incorporate, like, just get better about praying, and not just because like I'm pretty good about like praying in the morning and in the night, but also trying to like incorporate it more into just like my day-to-day basis, and like kind of, you know, just asking God for patience or peace when I need it, and or just praying to him for guidance throughout the day. And so I had prayed to him to, you know, show me or give me direction on ways that I can do that, because it was, you know, I'm still new into my faith, and so I'm trying to really, you know, figure my way through it. And so I prayed to him. I was like, can you just give me direction on how to, you know, incorporate prayer into my life on a more like regular basis. And that night I had a dream, and this is the first time I've ever had a dream that I had linked to like God speaking to me. like ever. And
Dang.
again, like I don't know if it is or not. Like I genuinely like it's nothing I can like prove, right? But I had a dream, and all he said to me was, "You know that you can talk to me about anything." And it's so crazy because like I woke up in the middle of the night, like kind of like right after that happened, and I was like, "Oh, I should write that down." But I was still really like tired, so I fell back asleep, and then like a few hours later, like another dream later, like I woke up again and I still remembered it, and I was like, "Okay, you need to write that down because you're gonna forget," because I just don't remember dreams like that, and I think everybody knows like you can have a dream and wake up, and 10 seconds later, like you forget about it. So I just like grabbed my phone, just like wrote it down, and then like went back to sleep. And then it's so funny because like I almost forgot about it. And then I looked in my notes later on and I was like, oh shoot, like one, I'm really glad I wrote this down because like I probably would have, yeah, it could have came back to me, but like I probably would have just like forgot for a few days. But yeah, and I wrote it down and I was like, wow, this is really cool because like this is something I had been specifically asking, and I think it's like, sometimes we can be, and I could be wrong about this or I don't know, but sometimes we can be a little bit weird about just talking to God about anything, about what we're going through. And I think it's something that we should be able to incorporate because like you want to have an intimate relationship with him, and he already knows everything that's going on anyways and all the sins you commit. And sometimes we try to polish our prayer to be like, this and that, or just to be super clean. And but no, it's like he wants you to talk to him about everything, and he wants to know everything because he already does, but he wants you to communicate it with him so that you can have that intimate relationship with him. So I thought that was really, really like cool and interesting and a really great experience for me. And it has helped me ever since. And then also another crazy instance. So I had unfortunately fallen back into a sin, and this was something that I'd been like working on and I'd been doing really great at, and I fell back into it. And again, like it's not like I don't sin on a daily basis. I'm not a perfect human being by any means, but like there's specific ones you work on that you're like, okay, I'm gonna try and just like not do this one, and you get on a good streak and then you fall back into it. So that happened to me. And right after that I prayed for forgiveness because I was like, I'm sorry. I was doing so great with this and I fell back into it, and it's something that like I felt really bad about. So I prayed. I was like, Lord, just like please give me forgiveness, and like I promise I'm gonna get back on it. I'm gonna get back off of it, and I'm not gonna like resort back to that again. And so the next morning when I wake up, again, I like, had my morning prayer, again, asked for forgiveness, and I'd woken up a little bit early. So I was like, okay, let me like get in my Bible before work. Cause usually like I don't have that much time before I go to work. So I wake up, do my stuff and go off. Like I don't have time to read my Bible, but I did that morning. But then like I got caught up and I didn't, unfortunately. So right before I left though, I was about to leave my room and I like noticed my notebook that I like write down Bible verses and stuff like that in whenever I'm doing Bible study. And I was like, okay, why don't you just go and like look at it, like just flip open a page and look at a verse really quick. And in my mind I was like, I really got to go. But I was like, no, just do it really quick. So literally I popped open the latch. I just opened the book to a random page, bro. Random page. Like I didn't scroll through. I didn't look. Like I just popped the book open. And literally the 3 verses are about forgiveness.
Dang.
Like it's insane how that worked out. And it was crazy, bro. I was just like, this is, call it supernatural, call it, some people will be like, oh, it's just a coincidence, like whatever you want. I call it God. But,
finally,
it was,
not the universe.
Right. But it was 2 of them. And one is Luke 23:34, which is Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. And the second one was Luke 24:47, which is there is forgiveness of sin for all who repent, which I think like more specifically speaks to my situation. But again, I think the other one plays into it too, because it's like sometimes when we do sin, right? Like we don't. I think it's easy for us to fall into sin so much because we don't understand like that we're hurt. We're hurt. Like you have a relationship with God. You have a relationship with Jesus, and whenever you sin, you're hurting him. You're hurting your relationship with him, right? It's like with me and Gabe, for example. Like, let's say there's something that, just for example, right? Let's say Gabe is like, bro, like, I don't like when you go out and drink. Like, it turns you a different person. Like, I'm not saying this is real, but just giving a very, like, just an example, right? And he's like, so, whenever we go out, I don't want you to drink. And then I go out with him and I go and drink. And maybe I try to hide it and do it secretly, but he knows. And maybe he doesn't say anything, but like he knows. And he's like, man, like I like he's doing this. And I understand that sometimes people can be weak and do things, but like it's hurting our relationship, because if I keep doing it, then like it's going to hurt our relationship and he's probably not going to want to hang out with me anymore, right? Or something to that degree. It's just one that I thought of off the top of my head, just like a random thing to bring up. But every time you sin, you're hurting your relationship with God. And like, even though he's still going to be there, right? His forgiveness, his mercy is there, but you do have to try to repent from that. You do have to try to turn from that, because you keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it, then like he's going to see that your intentions and your heart are not in the right place and are not pure, and you're not living this changed lifestyle of following Jesus. So yeah, all that to say, I just thought those were two really cool experiences that I had this past week, and like answering prayer. And again, like these are, I think, were so specific and interesting because they were prayers that I was like praying to help me grow in my faith and become stronger, right? It wasn't a prayer of like, let me book this role, or like, can I please get a raise at work, or like, can I please win the lottery, right? It wasn't like these superficial things. It was prayers of like me wanting to grow and me wanting to get better and me wanting to strengthen my relationship with Christ. So, I think that those are, again, like, I'm not saying you can't pray for certain things, but I think it's always great. Like if you're stuck or you're trying to figure out your way through a problem in your faith, you can always talk to him about any of it. Like he knows everything already. So like, if you think you're going to hide your sin from him, or you're going to hide this thing you did, like you're not hiding it. He already knows. He already knew you were going to do it, So yeah, it's, that was just a really cool experience that I don't know if you've ever had anything like that, but.
Sure, you just said everything perfect. I was like, I didn't even have any commentary. I was like, that's just so cool. That's beautiful and that's amazing, and that I think it's something that everyone kind of struggles to remember, because I feel like it is really easy to get into that habit of, well, one, you don't want to pray for certain things because for whatever reason, but I know like sometimes, at least for me, it's like, man, like I'm going to pray for, I don't know, like, oh no, like I'm worried I'm not going to pay my phone bill when like people are like about to like lose everything. So it's
right.
like, it's like I don't want to like waste God's time on that in a sense, right? Or like my life's so tough, but then like this person's life is way tougher. So it's like I don't want to like complain and be like, and it's that's not the reality of it. Like God's there for you for all of it, and like you said, like he wants to hear you talk about everything, the good and the bad. And then I know that I also sometimes get in the habit of I don't want to keep like asking for things. So it's like sometimes I'll pray and I'll just like be thankful, because like I feel like I only pray when I need something or I want something, So it's like it's okay to do that. It's like a healthy balance, but like I feel like it's easy to fall into that trap of like, no, I'm not going to pray for every little thing because now I'm just complaining. And it's very true with the heart, what you were saying with repenting is like, repenting is all about the heart. Like you can you can do something a million times. If you don't repent, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Did I say that right? Yeah, you can do something a million times, and if you're not repenting, then it's like
Yeah, because it's like if
you're not getting
if you're,
forgiven.
Again, we all make mistakes. We all are human. We all it just we give into our flesh, right? So like the thing is like if I do something tonight and then do it tomorrow and then do it tomorrow and then do it tomorrow without any sort of like trying to like deny myself, then like are you really trying to change? Are you really trying to repent, or are you just saying that, you know?
I also think that repentance is a really good kind of like self-indication of where you're at spiritually.
Absolutely.
Because if, like, I know that everyone struggles with different things, you know? So it's like, I know one thing that I struggled with, like, when I was younger, there was a point in my life that I would, like, I didn't know it was bad. And then you find, so you don't feel any type of way about it, right? You're just like, oh, I'm just doing this
Right.
thing. And then you learn that it is bad. And then you start, like, feeling that tug, that, like, guilt, right? Holy
Yeah.
Spirit.
Yeah.
And then, but then you keep doing it, right? And then it's, you know, it's the sin that you struggle with. Like, whatever it may be, it doesn't matter what it is. It can literally be anything. And you start getting, like, feeling that guilt, and, like, you know, you want to stop or you don't stop, and then you ask for forgiveness. But then you do it so much that you become numb to it. And then you
Right.
don't feel guilty. And, like, that
Right.
happens to me. And then you're just, like, to the point that you don't even, when you're praying, you don't even ask for forgiveness because, like, you're not even thinking about it because you're not you don't feel guilty about it. And I think that that's a really good indication, like a self-reflection moment on where you are spiritually, of, like, what you feel guilty about, what you don't feel guilty about, but also why you feel guilty about it. Are you feeling guilty because, like, that's actually, like, what you believe is bad or good, and you think that, like, that's God telling you that that's bad or good? Or do you think that's bad or good because someone told you and it's drilled into your head? Because that's a
Right.
whole other topic we can
Right.
get into, right?
Right.
Like just like the most popular one I feel like is, like, tattoos. Like, are tattoos bad because God says it's bad, or is tattoos bad because your church or your family or your whoever says it's bad? Is that
Right.
why you feel guilty? It's
Right.
like, you know, that's a whole other thing we can get into another time. But yeah, prayer, important. Pray about everything, good, bad, ugly. And it's kind of like Catholics when they do, like, confession.
Sure.
But we don't need
I
to go
remember
through a
that.
third party, like a middleman. That's the
Yeah,
beautiful
yeah.
part.
Yeah,
That's actually the
exactly.
beautiful part. But also, I think I think the most beautiful part about it is that it's a direct connection. So it's like you can fully repent because it's between you and God, as opposed to before with confession. Like, you're gonna feel guilty because you're also letting another human know. Like, that person can judge you. Like, that person will know who you are. They know what you have done. And yeah, they're not supposed to judge you, but you know,
Sure.
it's human nature.
But I think it's also harder to in that degree, right? Because you might not be fully forthcoming because you
Exactly.
know it's another person, and you just might be so ashamed or guilty of that. And that's the thing. It's like you don't have to feel that way with Jesus, bro. Like and like it was weird for me, like when I first started praying, like it was really weird and it was very different, and I think I was very polished, but as I've grown, I'm like, no, I can literally just anything that I need to, right? And of course, yeah, like when Jesus says the prayer, don't tell it, don't go on and take up all the time, but like, he says like concise to the point, right? But you can always like have that conversation and talk to him about anything. So yeah, it was really cool, man. It was a very interesting experience for me.
That's dope, bro. I'm happy. Like that's the, like, cool stuff that you get to hear from, like, other people's journeys.
Yeah.
And, like, it's so dope. It's so dope.
But it's interesting because like, yeah, I never have had like these were like my first two, I want to say. I mean, I think there's been so many in my life where like God's been protecting me and I didn't even know it. But like these were the first two that where it was like a direct reflection of prayer, like directly the next day, and I was like, whoa, this is pretty wild. Like it's crazy to see that, in real time. So
Yeah, our God's not a lazy God; He's an active God.
right, amen. All right, let's get on to this review. Unless you have anything else to.
No, I was just gonna give a rundown on my birthday because I realized that we
okay.
we
Go
didn't
ahead.
do anything about my birthday.
Yeah, we got time.
So my birthday's on a Monday, which sucks. So I just took off the weekend, and my wife did too. So my wife was overly stressed for like the past like month and a half. She's like freaking out because she can't talk to me about anything. So, but she would tell me that she's freaking out and that she can't talk to me about anything. So that's all I knew is that she was freaking out.
Hey, how's your day? Don't talk to me.
No, she's like, Gabe, like, you don't understand. But, like, it was good. She's like, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for your birthday. I think you're going to love it. But, like, what if you don't love it? And I'm like, I'm sure I'm going to love it. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. I don't, so, and then, anyways, day comes. I work Friday morning because I have 2 jobs, so I got off one. And I come home, and she had, like, put up streamers and, like, a happy birthday balloon on the wall, a big 25 birthday balloon, and, like, a bunch of balloons all over the floor and with all my presents and all that stuff that she got me on the counter, like, right as I walk into the apartment. And then she made me, I grew up with my mom making, like, this, like, chocolate coconut cake. And she made like a vanilla coconut cake for me. And it was her first coconut cake she's ever made. And, bro, it came out so good. But it was cool that she did that because she knew that I loved that. And I used to always get that when I was younger.
Right.
So it was very special to me that she made that cake for me. And then she got me like a bunch of things. Like, obviously, if you know me, you got to get me sour candy. So she got me a bunch of sour candy I've never had before. And then she got me these Collins glasses, like skinny Collins for like drinks.
Okay.
They're basically just tall cups. Yeah. And because we went to this bar called Tori Tori in Orlando, check it out, it's an amazing bar. And I got a drink, and it had like a fat clear cube, like it was like a rectangle, and it was like this big. It was like literally like most of the glass. Like I took the glass out and there was like this much drink, which is like, still 2 ounces of whatever it was. But I was like, whoa. So she bought me a mold for those cubes, and she bought me the glass to put the cubes in. So yeah, it was cool. And then what else she got me? She got me a couple things. She got me some.
I can name one thing she got you.
Yeah, she got me some new PJs. And then she got me these clogs.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Bro, I've been wanting these for so long. She got herself a matching pair, so I don't really know if this is fully for me, but or just an excuse for her to buy her own.
Yeah,
but
yeah, for real,
hey,
for real.
I'm benefiting from it, so I'm okay with it. And yes, I did already get them dirty. Don't judge me. I spilled a mimosa on the floor, and it got all over my shoes. Okay? Anyways, don't judge me. So... and then I got this brand new iPad, which is amazing. I'm loving it. It's so sick. It can do so much more than like my other one. Actually, like I said, was an iPad 4, so that means it had 32 gigabytes of storage. Because back in the day, that was a lot. So I actually don't have any apps on the iPad anymore because I just couldn't with the software. I had to have like text messages, so like I could still text Tyler through it. For the podcast, because when we would FaceTime, it still needed to be connected.
Yeah.
So that and the pictures, like, took up all the space. Excuse me. It took up all the space. So I literally never used... The only time I used the iPad was for the podcast. And now I'm, like, watching TikToks on it.
Yeah, it's cool. Especially, bro, if you get, like, the keyboard attachment, it's basically a mini laptop.
Yeah, her mom gave me some money to put towards getting a pencil and a keyboard.
I would say get the keyboard first. The pen's cool. It's just like, for me, unless you're using it for like drawing purposes, I mean, for me, I would use it to, like, highlight scripts and scroll. But like definitely keyboard first and then pen is what I'd recommend.
That's fair. So yeah, I'm gonna feel bad if I forgot something. She got me a nose hair trimmer because I've been wanting one. Dude, I never
need that.
sneezed so much
Yeah,
until
it's
I used
weird.
that thing. Like I literally
Tickles.
I was like crying sneezing. It tickled so much. Like snot was coming out of everything. Like it was bad.
All right, we
Yeah.
can skip over this part.
All
Fast
right. But yeah, no, it was a great birthday. She invited a couple. One of my best friends that's been friends with me since we were in high school, and then a couple coworkers of mine that are my good friends as well. Excuse me. So we went out. We went to the Keg Social, which is where we went for my birthday with the boys like 3 years ago, and that was
Nice.
the one and only time I've ever lost a credit card.
Dang.
So yeah, so we went there again. It was fun. The next day, she took me to like this little outdoor area that's like, we gotta go. I actually ran into Chase there.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I ran into 2 people from my old church, and then and Chase, like just sitting there, and they have that I sent you a picture of the cup with the buzz balls and the shots, and it give you ice and Sprite. You can buy one there, but it's like this cute little area. It has dangling those like lamp lights.
Where's it at?
It's like Winter Garden-ish, Winter Park. It's next to Winter Park, but
Okay,
it's
so
not
Winter
Baldwin.
Park.
To the left of Winter Park.
Right, but I mean, it's not.
I don't
Winter
know.
Garden.
It was a surprise. I was driven there.
Oh,
I don't
you had
know.
the
I don't
blindfold
actually
on?
know. Yeah, I don't actually know where it is. I just showed up there.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it used to be a private event venue. So
okay.
it's at this person's house, and you go in their backyard. They got a barn with a bar. They got a little coffee shop. They got a bar at that's like in like those old minivans, like Scooby Doo esque.
Yeah,
and then they got
yeah.
a little bar in the back with like a kitchen, so you can get food. Like, and there's lights. There's like kids running around. There's live music. Like it's a vibe, bro. They got campfires everywhere. It's beautiful. Free entry. But like the parking's all at this person's house. Like you're parking on the yard, you're parking in the grass. Like it's really cool. It's a vibe. And yeah, so we gotta go there when you come back. Even Chase said that we gotta take you. And then after, what do we do after? I think we just went home and chilled and watched the movie because we were tired from the night before. And then Sunday, her best friend from Michigan was down here because her boyfriend had a work conference. So we went to Topgolf with them, showed them around Orlando. And then I went to Halloween Horror Nights, and that was the end of my birthday celebration. Monday, I
Nice.
worked. But my job does like these cool birthday stuff, and it was really cool. I'm going to post the video right here. And as I'm talking, they brought out the sparklers. They brought out the bubble gun.
To bubble gun?
Yeah, bro. They brought the bubble guns out, the sparklers.
That's
They
cool.
brought me a cinnamon bun. But like I was at the bar, which is a 360 bar in the center of the bar. So everyone was watching me. They put the camera. I think they put the cameras on me. They put everything red, and they were playing the Future and Drake. I'm too sexy. You know, what's it called? How does it go?
It's called Too Sexy, I believe. Way Too Sexy. I
Way
think.
Too Sexy. Yeah, it is.
It's been a minute.
Too whatever. They play that song, and then the DJ was like,
you get the
"Happy birthday to Gabe, the best employee of Stadium Club." Like they were hyping, bro. It was. I felt like LeBron, honestly.
You're like, hey, if I'm the best employee, then how about a raise?
I did get promoted to server, not bartender, because of reasons that I won't say because I still work there. But it's not due to me not being able to perform my job.
Right.
But I transferred to server, so that's fun. Yesterday was my first day serving. It was fun.
Nice. Very
I
cool.
almost threw up.
Okay.
My first table serving ever was a side visit. And what a side visit is, at least in my hotel terms, is when the higher-ups will get people from like different companies and stuff like that, show them around, and basically try to sell them the property, try them to get to host events, and basically spend money at the hotel. And one of those like networking meetings was my first table ever by myself. So I was like, this is great. But they were fine. I did great.
Yeah, it's a bit hectic.
Yeah, enough about me. That was my birthday celebration. My mom comes back from Brazil today. So I
Dang,
actually got
she's
to
been
see
there for
her.
a while.
Yeah, bro. She's been there for like a month, month and a half. Yeah.
Okay, well,
But
that's
anyways,
cool. Nice. Well, happy birthday again.
Thank you.
And yeah,
Hopefully
that
no
sounds
more.
all good.
Hopefully I
Well-
live long, but last birthday. I'll stay 25 forever.
That makes sense. Okay, cool. Let's get into this real quick. We're going to be reviewing Smile 2.
Oh, I
we
totally
both-
forgot. Manny, my boy, got
Pause.
me Croc slides that have like fur. I almost said slippers because they have like the fur on it, and he got me like the little button stuff to put on them. So came in clutch. Appreciate it.
Bro went and got all the foot accessories.
Yes, sir.
Don't dirty up those ones.
I know they're rubber, so I can wash them.
True. Okay, now we're gonna get into the review of Smile 2. Because we both were able to go and see it over the weekend.
I saw it
we
last
reviewed
night.
Smile 1 a couple episodes
week.
ago. Was it just last week?
Episodes.
Oh yeah, I guess it was. So yeah, if you want to see our Smile review for number 1, check out last week's episode. If you want to see a Smile review for number 2, check out this episode right here, right now. Do you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Go ahead. I watched it last night, so it's pretty fresh.
Okay. I mean, it's still, I watched it on Monday night.
But you're
So,
older than me, so I know you're.
I want to just preface this by saying so when I saw the trailers for this movie, I did not have high hopes because I'd watched the first one, and what I liked so much about the first one was obviously the performances. I think the lead was amazing. She was phenomenal. But I really liked how they played the angle of like it's this psychiatrist who deals with people who are going mentally insane, and she has to be the one to calm them down. And this happens to her, and so she is she's experiencing this, but obviously like it is real, and it's something that can actually like kill her. You know,
That's the
So
first
I
movie.
Yeah, that's the first one. That's what I really liked about it. And then seeing the trailers for the second one, I kind of thought it was just going to be like a money grab. Like, I didn't know if they were going to have a fully fleshed out story. I thought it was like, oh, they're going pop star. They're trying to like make it more entertaining and more to like a younger audience. So like, I wasn't that excited for it. And then I started seeing reviews come out for this one, and they were really good. They were really good. And I was like, okay, well, if the reviews are all fairly positive, I mean, of course you have some people who are like, you know, they didn't like it, but that's every single movie in existence. But majority of the reviews I saw were really good. So I was like, okay, now I'm a little bit more excited for this movie. Still didn't like let my hype go crazy, but I was like, okay, I'm more excited. I don't know what it was about the trailer, just didn't draw me in that well. But sometimes that happens with trailers. Anyway, so I went and saw it on Monday night, and I loved it. I thought it was phenomenal. I thought it was a very worthy sequel. I think they had a great storyline. I think, again, whoever's casting these movies, especially the leads. I mean, I thought the ensemble was great. Ray Nicholson, the lady who plays the mom, the friends, like everybody was so good. But Naomi Scott, man, she deserves an award nomination. I don't think she'll get one because horror always gets snubbed for the most part, like 99% of the time. But she, again, just another outstanding performance from the lead. And that's back-to-back movies. And I think that's so rare that you find that, like, somebody who can deliver that performance, because these are such heavy movies with so much emotion and just, like, anxiety and all these, like, different levels that these actresses have to play. And I think she nailed it. And I think this one, it went bigger. It went gorier. It was scarier to me. And I was really invested in the story. Like, I wanted her. I mean, listen, hey, I'm going to try not to drop any spoilers, but if you haven't seen it yet and you don't want any spoilers at all, you should probably wait till you see it to watch this. But I wanted her to be somebody that makes it out. I was like, I really am pulling for her. And I was feeling the same way with the first movie. I was like, I want to see this person win. And, you know, obviously what happens is what happens. I think they tied in the intro the intro was great. I think they tied it in really well. I didn't know how they were going to do that. and they did that so well. It was just executed great.
Bro, let's just do spoilers. This is gonna be so annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I would say just be wary. And so, yeah, I mean, I thought the intro was great and how they tied it in, and then what happens with, him getting hit and just that sequence of like seeing his body. I mean, it's very gross and gory. It's very heavy. And then even visually, I thought it was a great movie. I thought the camera work, the angles, the New York City turned upside down, which like happens after she gets infected. It's like her world's turned upside down. And, then the whole aspect of the boyfriend storyline and kind of seeing like, oh, like it plays so much into her decision making, because it's like, oh, when she sees the guy first kill himself with the weight, and like she has this decision, like, do I call the cops and tell them what happened, or like, but she's also famous. She's a celebrity who just had this horrible accident, a year ago. And everybody's and everybody's already labeled her this and that, and this is supposed to be her comeback tour, and her mom's like, no, you have to do this, and she just, it would be hard to like feel like, what do I do, and then just the whole process of her like starting to go insane through this, and nobody understanding, and her mom just like, no, you have to do this, and she's like, I can. Her mom's like, no, you do. And then in turn, it leads to things getting worse. And then the whole, thing with the car sequence and showing that, I mean, like, dude, that was so heavy. But it was so, like, the thing I like about these movies is, like, they feel real. Like, they do a really good job of, like, it's scary how, like, obviously not the actual entity, but just, like, the storylines, like, of that happening. And, like, her and her boyfriend are in this huge argument, and they're, I hate you, this and that. And then this crazy thing happens. And then, you can see the instant regret and guilt and shame on her face, and just the pain and anger. It's like, I mean, dude, I just, I could really talk about it at length, but I don't want to go too crazy, obviously, because you still need to get a review and all that. We don't have that much time. But, yeah, I loved it. I genuinely don't know which one is better. I'm honestly leaning towards the second one right now. But that is super fresh, so that could be recency bias. But, yeah, and then the ending I thought was really good. I do think the way they bring in the demon or the entity or whatever it is always a little bit weird. And I don't know if that's a choice, a stylistic thing. It's gross, but it is weird. And but I thought, okay, and one more thing, because I have to cover this. I think the ending, it was weird at first, but I think it was so smart, because you can't do this movie a third time without it going extremely bigger, right? Because now the ending, again, spoiler, so I'm already putting that out there. She kills herself in front of the entire audience in the concert. And I was like, oh, I didn't expect that, but also like, it has to happen that way, because now it has to take on the world, because you can't do this story again where it just infects one person, because it's old. It's going to get repetitive. They found a really fresh and really like great new way to take this on with this pop star. And I thought it was amazing. But now you have, if they do a third one, you have to go bigger. You have to like then have researchers or some like people trying to figure out what this is and how do we stop it and how do we get a grasp on this. So I thought they ended it in the only way they could. That might be controversial to some, but I'm like, you can't do the same thing a third time. It just wouldn't work. So I thought it was great. I'm going to rate it a 9 out of 10. I thought it was a great movie, great performances, great storyline, great suspense, great jump scares, well placed. And I really enjoyed it.
Yay, good review, good review.
All right, Gabe, wake up.
No, yeah, you're good. Okay, so my review of Smile 2. Everything Tyler said, right? Actress, phenomenal. She did an amazing job. Her acting was crazy. You feel for the character. You connect with the character. She plays all these different... because like you can see how her mentality is like deteriorating. And how it's like breaking her down. And like Tyler said, it shows stuff from her past on why she makes decisions. But like it's like gruesome and gory and like, bro, like she did a great job. Like genuinely, like you said, I think she deserves an Oscar, right? That's for actors.
Award of some sort, you know,
some sort of
something,
award,
yeah.
something. Because she did amazing. Like I loved it. I think she did a better job than the first girl, acting wise, genuinely.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're both.
But
on
I
par,
think
man.
it's
The
just
first one was
very
so
very
good.
different roles.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
you know that also plays into it. Like Tyler said, I also thought that the first movie with it being a therapist, I love that perspective. And then this one, I didn't see the trailer, but Tyler told me it was about a pop star. And my first thought was, I swear on everything good on this earth, that if it's another musical that they're not advertising as a musical and ruin a completely good movie by making it a musical, no offense to all of my musical lovers, I'm going to be tight. And it wasn't. It was a pop star, so like there's music in it, but it's where it made sense. It was not like she's like, "What's going on? This is really happening. I can't understand what's going on." You know, like it wasn't like that. Which thank God, genuinely. So, but like everything that was happening made sense, and you understood why things were happening. But it was still like kind of confusing. Like that's and I like movies like that. I like movies that you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Where you know, she has that accident, tragedy, right? And then the media's all over her. This is her comeback. So then she slips, and then that causes her to get this curse because of wrong place, wrong time. But everything okay. With what you were saying about it'll get repetitive. That was exactly what I was thinking, to where I'm like, let's see how much I can see coming. Because it's like, if it's a demon that takes you over by having you get infected by watching someone kill themselves that they took over. And then the next 6 days, it like deteriorates you, makes you feel crazy. You start seeing things that aren't there. You start suffering, like all these things, right? And you don't know what's real, you don't know what's not. And then it takes you over, and then you kill yourself and then pass it on to the next. There's only so many things you can do without not doing that. You know what I mean? Like, if that's the MO, that's it. The whole point of the first movie is that's what we were figuring out. So they can't really switch up that much plot line.
Sure.
So I'm like, let's see what I can see coming. The smiles, the way they used it on different people, perfect. I think the actors that they picked for it, like the little girl, super creepy.
Yeah.
But then the guy that was like her fan was super creepy, but he didn't have a smile.
He's gross.
But they used that as a hallucination. Like they used. I thought the casting was great. Like the way the demon worked in this, or the entity worked in this situation, was really cool. But it's also like, it made sense on why she didn't call the cops. She was at a drug dealer's house that just, committed suicide in front of her. That's traumatic. It was gory, but she's a relapsing artist trying to make a comeback. Like, how do you do that? Like, you can't have your name on there. But then, then it shows the humanistic side of her, where she feels super guilty. She's paranoid. She's worried. She, doesn't know what to do, and then it starts haunting her. Like, bro, I genuinely love this movie. The demon at the end was completely different than the one in the beginning.
Yeah.
And thank you. Because that was what killed the first movie for me. Because I don't know if you remember me talking. I'm like, when I saw that demon and it looked like I just ordered it off the dark web, I was like, oh. This one, it didn't look like it could have been real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is okay, for sure. But bro, the mind farts, for lack of a PG way to say it, like the mind bending scenes there, like certain things, I was like, oh, like that's a little cringy. But then, spoiler alert, it was you're not gonna, not really, but like you thought like, oh, that person really said that, like, or they did that just like that, but then it wasn't real, and then you're like, oh, and bro, like it's you'll see some things coming, but I don't know if you'll, obviously, because we said you should kill yourself on tour,
right.
But other than that, like I didn't see how she got there. Like I didn't expect that. But I did think when Tyler was like, how do you end it? I was like, when I found out that it was a pop star, when he said that, I was like, they have to end the movie with them either defeating the demon or her killing herself on stage. Like, they have to because, like you said, it's gonna get repetitive. What are you gonna do next? The president, you know? And it's what's it called? Because my wife had a problem with it where she's like, I just want them to have made some progress in like killing the demon because like they were so close the first time. And then they were even closer the second time. And now it's like going to be way worse. And I was like, it's going to be way worse, but it's going to have to be dead because people are going to have to figure it out or else the world's done.
Yeah. Those are
Like
your
the
two
whole world
options
is
now.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that one, it was a great ending in the sense of they could never make another movie and they have two amazing movies. Or two, they will make a third and it'll be the final. So it's cool.
And I think that's the thing is because they with the first one it was like okay it's a very small specific case, right? And then the second one it takes it to this grander scale of somebody who has influence over millions of young teens and this and that. So like I feel like they did take it grander, and I think some people will find an issue like your girlfriend where it's like I really wanted them to like, figure this out. Your wife, my bad. I'm sorry. It's so fresh.
I know it's okay.
But it's like some people will be like, oh, it didn't really get explained any further, and I'm like, well, you have to also like in a way you do have to keep that movie perspective, right? Because obviously they do want to make a potential for a third. I think every movie who gets a second, you always have the third in mind. Because if you're going to do 2, you might as well do 3. You know what I mean? So, like, I do think that you have to keep that in perspective. But I understand where some people could be a little upset by that, for sure,
But this was the perfect ending to switch it up completely.
Exactly.
Like, how cool would it be if they make a third one and there's, like, 6 main characters?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they're all struggling the same thing like, it's a group of girls from the concert. You know what I mean?
But I'm just, I need to look it up, but I'm so curious. So real quick, because we have like 5 minutes. So at what point, like when did it all, I don't even like know like when it all stopped becoming real because she obviously made it to the stage, right? So like when her friend was never really there, right? When she calls her and she's
Correct.
like, we haven't talked. So like, and like the thing with her mom, bro, that I was like, dude, I was tweaking. I was like, I cannot believe she just killed her freaking mom. Like that's nuts. And then, you find out it's not real. But I was like, so at what point, like, did it in the hospital, did she just start freaking out and like her mom left and she started hallucinating all of that? Like, I don't know at what point she got to this. Like, I don't know what was real still, bro. Like,
and that's one thing that my wife hated about it, where she's like, well, now I feel like all that was just fake, and like, and okay,
that's the scary
I don't
thing
know.
too.
I think the mom thing, I think the whole hospital thing was false because when you look at it too, the reason she was in the hospital is because she got attacked and slammed her head they slammed her head on the piano.
Yeah.
She got a concussion. Oh, and then
right,
and then the next scene. She's on stage and she has no bruise on her face. She had a fat black eye, bro.
Well, but remember in the hospital, the mom said, we can cover that up with makeup. Because I thought about that too. I was like, oh, maybe I just need to see if she has a bruise. But the mom did say that. And, makeup artists nowadays could do anything, bro. So I'm like, was it just covered up?
True. But then, you know what I also thought of? Do you think that guy was real with the brother?
Who?
The nurse. The guy, like, I'll kill you and I'll resuscitate you.
Oh, that's the thing. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I feel like he was, but because he wasn't, like, I don't know.
But then the whole time it's like, oh, you're getting a text from unknown. It didn't say a number. It just said unknown.
Uh-huh.
She never told her friend. She wasn't like, yo, like, I don't know about this guy. And her friend's like, there's no text. Like, I don't, like, they never intertwined it very well. So it's like, is it real? Is it not?
Well, yeah, but remember when she did meet with him and she takes the picture of him and he's like, whoa, like what? And she's like, I'm sending it to my friend in case, like, but again, who knows if that was real? Like, I don't know. I need to like look it up and see if there's any sort of like explanation on it. But in a way, I'm like that's what leads me like makes the movie a little bit more captivating, right? Because, and I think the reason I like these, because I usually don't drift towards paranormal or like demon movies. I'm more of like into slashers. But this one combines the two so well because it's like a slasher that is a slasher in the mind. And, you know, everything is like, even though you may predict something, then you're like, oh, wait a minute. But then this happened. But then this happened. But was that real? But that wasn't real. And so like you think maybe you're in the right place, but then you're not. And it's just like, it's really, you know, I think that's what fascinates me more about these movies is they're not super easy to figure out. They're not super clear on what's real and what's not. And I mean, you know,
do you think that because when she knocked over that older lady off the stage,
yeah,
and then she was at the bar, and then they were taking pictures of her and videos. The guy's like, "Oh, I watched that thing a million times," and then she left. I'm like, was that all real? Because now I'm just like, now I'm questioning everything because there was no one talked about her being at the bar. Because with her being famous, that would have blown up. Her media team would have got it. Her mom would have asked.
Yeah,
but
I don't know,
one
bro.
thing that I forgot to mention is I do think it played a cool role with both movies of like a therapist dealing with mental health and having to go to a therapist, and then a star going through mental health issues in the sense of like that's like the underlying meaning. I feel like a lot of the times, like when you're going through that stuff and they resort to drugs and then like we all judge them and all that stuff. And then we send them to rehab and then we think we're helping by being like, oh, no. But then they feel like they can't talk. But then every time they're going through things and they're talking to you, oh, are you on drugs? Are you using again? You can tell me. It's okay. And then it's just like, and then she's like genuinely sober. She's genuinely going through all these things. And everyone's like, okay, no, that's fine. Let's take some deep breaths.
Like there's
drink
reasons
your water.
why people question that, which is it's so much better than it just happening to like a regular person. And I also think it was really cool how, not really cool. I think it was just interesting because she was going to get pain meds that she couldn't get prescribed to the doctor. Again, maybe she should have tried other
because she had
avenues.
surgery and had an accident, not like because she was trying to like get a fix.
Right, like we could see her back was physically like impaired, and she's trying to put on a show. Like she's trying to go on tour and do these crazy dances and performances every single night. Like she needs something to numb that pain, not the pain, and it's just like, but nobody would believe her. Not one person would believe her. So like that's where you're so drawn in. You feel for this character, and I think that's what they do great in both movies is they really make you care for this lead actress, and that's something you have to do. And I think a lot of horror movies miss that. Like, I just don't care about the characters. I'm like, okay, cool, but like I didn't care if any of them like got off, you know.
No, fair.
And in the harsh, you know, not harshest way possible, whatever. But you know what I mean. It's like sometimes the characters just aren't developed. But yeah,
we could talk about this movie for a while.
Yeah,
I rated it a
what do you
9.
rate?
I didn't say it 9. I honestly, at first, I was like, oh, no, it's not better than the first one because you're always biased for the first one. But once I sat on and I pondered on and I thought about it and the visuals, like, I honestly, like, I really like that movie.
Yeah, I'm going to have to, I'll definitely do, obviously, I'll probably wait till next year, next Halloween. So if you're sticking around for next year, we'll both do a rewatch next year and we'll let you know. Fireworks?
Whoa.
This iPad stuff is crazy, bro. But I don't know. My girlfriend still needs to watch. She hasn't seen either of them. So I might watch them with her. I don't know. But yeah, we'll for now, I think we're both leaning towards the second. So if you haven't seen it, go see it. And let us know your thoughts. We're always curious to know, you guys' thoughts and opinions on the things we talk about as well. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. If you made it this far, we really appreciate it. It means a lot to us, and we enjoy getting to sit here and chat with each other and have you guys
chat with y'all.
Yeah, chat with y'all, listen with y'all. So, once again, because we didn't mention at any point in this episode, my name is Tyler.
My name is Juan. No, I'm just kidding. My name is Gabriel.
And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Peace.